In addition to the Tools panel, you also have several panels over here on the right-hand side inside of Adobe Muse, and in this movie, I'm going to show you how to work with those panels and rearrange them to suit your needs. So first and foremost, when you open up Muse, you're going to see them in a collapsed state over here on the right-hand side, and that just means you're going to see small icons and the name next to each individual panel. However, if you are more accustomed to an expanded view, like you might see in Photoshop or Illustrator, you can expand them by clicking that little arrow at the top right there. It just toggles back and forth. These panels work much the same as the panels do in any other Adobe application. In order to rearrange them, you just click and drag to move them around. So you can see there I can flip-flop color and text. You can also tear off each individual panel and bring it out into the workspace. So if I wanted the color panel out here and then I wanted the text panel underneath it, I can drag that out and dock it underneath, and then those will move together as one. In order to understand how these panels move around, all you have to do is look at that little blue line that appears when you drag a panel around. So here, see that little blue outline? That means I'm going to drop it right in that little slot right there. I can also drag it up. When I see a blue line appear around the color panel, drop it in, and I'm docking those with one another there. If you have a panel group that you've torn off like this and you want to dock it back over here, just go back over to the top and then wait for that blue line, release, and they go right back into the same spot where they always have. You can also collapse panels temporarily if you want to. All you have to do is double-click on the panel name. So in this case, text. Go ahead and double-click that, and it's going to just minimize that panel, giving a lot of space to the rest of the panels here. You can also expand collapse panels like these down here just by clicking on them. So I can click Widgets Library, that opens up Layers, and then I can also open up Character, Paragraph, and Graphic Styles. If at any time you feel the need to reset all of these panels back to normal, just go to the Window menu and choose Reset Panels. And when you do that, all of those will snap back to their original place, and you can get back to working like you did when you first opened up the application. Now, you can rearrange these any way you like. I usually expand them out like this, and then I just start rearranging by clicking and dragging up. So for instance, here I might move the Swatches panel up here with color like that. I will also expand out all of these at the bottom. And I also tend to move the text panel out by itself so that it's out by itself like this. And then what I'll do is group that with some other panels here in just a minute. So I like to give the Layers panel quite a bit of space. That way I can also access the Library and Assets panel. And then what I'll do is go to the Window menu, and I'm going to go down here and bring up Paragraph Styles. That's going to open those up down here at the bottom. And I'll just group these with text, just like so. And then my Graphic Styles panel, what I do is just drag this up, and I'll always drop that over there next to Assets, Library, and Layers. That way I've got those in there as well. You may find that Graphic Styles work best up here as well, because swatches and color kind of go along with applying styles. And then finally what I'll do is just drag this up here and drop the text right up there at the top and make sure the text panel is easily displayed. And then what I'll do is just collapse the ones that I don't use all the time and expand the ones that I do. So for instance, I use the Library, Layers, and Assets panels quite a bit. I also use the Widget Library quite a bit, so I'll leave those open, and I may even expand the Swatches panel, but I'll make sure that I adjust that so that I have enough room to see all of the rest of the panels that I want to. The Muse workspace is something that you can make your own, and I highly recommend that you do so. You don't have to follow the directions I've just given you here. I want you to play around with it, see where you like to have things, put them in their place, and that way you know exactly where everything is that you need throughout your workflow.